Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here, and it is World Bee Day. We celebrate bees, nature's wonderful little pollinator. So if you have a quilt with a bee on it, or a quilt that's used bee fabric, because there is tons of adorable bee fabric out there, today I want you to share quilts with bees on it. And here's a picture of my little applique bee that was used for a little zippy pouch. And that's a free pattern, and I will link it below here in my description box at YouTube. And while you're there, if you would click the subscribe, then we can be friends. Mwah. So I want to show you a bee fabric that I got recently from Riley Blake. It's called Bee's Life. It's so cute. Let's get this. Let's just get this out of here. Okay. Oops, I'm going to turn this off so we don't get that glare. All right, so we have this great overall print, which I think is super. Look at that. Look how cute that is. I like that, this sort of collage-y text prints. Those are some of my favorite. These all come in like white, yellow, and black. So pretty much the same prints. There's the bees kept with little words. Save the bees, honey. Isn't that cute? Then the bees themselves, of course. You gotta have bees and a honeycomb. And then sort of a tonal version of that. See if there's another print, if there's any other. Here's the bees you can see on white. Oh, this is pretty. Look at that. Ah, good stuff. Bees on yellow. Okay, so you're gonna show me any bee quilts that you have. Okay, so 2 finishes. And then we're going to talk Freemotion Quilting, and I'm going to do a demo. So first I've got the Liberty expanded version done. Up, 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 up. There we go. The whole thing. Haha, yes! So excited. So I have to pick a backing for that. I have to look around for something that I already own. I'm not going to order any fabric for it, so it has to be something I own. Probably in either navy or red. Maybe it'll be white. Who knows? Could be white. And then that'll go to the spa. The other finish is the one charm pack with the wide blue binding. So I got this done. Super cute. And I am, there we go. I'm gonna hold it up way back here. So I am so excited about this one. I did hand binding, which I don't normally do, but I decided to give it a try. My left hand got a little weary with that, so I only did it in short, little short bursts. This will go in the pile that I'm collecting a quilt for each of my great nephews. They're 3 brothers, and so I will send them down to my niece so they can have a little bit bigger quilt than the baby quilts that I made each of them when they were born. All right, we're going to talk about Basket of Blooms. I'm going to do some free motion. I'm going to show you my plan as I went along, and then my plan to finish it up. So let's get to it. So let's do a little free motion quilting. I am going to just do loops. I'll show you with my finger. I'm just going to do loops like this, all in the background. You could do all kinds of things, whatever you want, but this is easy. Loop, loop, loop. It's kind of my go-to. I want to start on an edge. Like, I don't want to start like right in the middle of an empty space. I want to start like either at a seam or on the edge of the patchwork. So I'm going to hold my thread because I tied my, I cut my thing with the thread cutter, so I can't pull the thread up. So I'm just going to do a couple stitches in place, and then now I'm going to loop around. And you find that speed that works for you for free motion quilting, whether you like to sew fast, like there's fast, but then I have to move my hands faster because otherwise my stitches are really, really tight and tiny. Or I can go slower. You have to match your hand speed to the speed of the needle to get the stitch that you want, because you are creating the stitch with the feed dogs down. So I'm just looping all around and filling the space. And I like it to be fairly close, but I also don't want it to be uniform. So I'm going to move around and then come back and fill in spaces. And you can even do like a double loop. But I just don't want it to look uniform. I don't want to be going across so that you see any kind of a pattern for this background. So that way, if you move away from an area and then you come back down and fill it in, it tends to look a whole lot more natural. You know, just think like wind blowing, you know, that kind of a feel. So when you're done, you know, you'll be filling all of this background. You might run out of bobbin thread, which means, you know, you'll have to, you know, tie off on the back. So there you go. Let's look at these petals here for the flowers. What I did is in the middle of it, I started in the center and then just did long loops all the way out. And when I did these long loops, I avoided going right through that intersection because that's bulky. So I just sort of take the loop around either side of it and go through all of these. So you have this sort of starburst. So I'll show you over here. We'll start in the middle and end, you know, if you have a bigger piece, you can always hold the fabric with your hands. You don't have to keep it flat like this. Sometimes you feel like you have a little bit more control holding it up. I'm going to do a couple stitches in place in the middle to lock it, and then I'll just hold it this time to show you. So I'm going to do this long loop up to the end and then back to the middle, and then go around that intersection up to the end, back to the middle. So you're repeating that in all the units. There we go. So it gives you this sort of nice starburst feature in the center of your flower, which I really like. I like how it looks. And you can sew fast, you can sew slow, whatever works for you. I have that tail there in my way, so some people like to clip the tail right when they start. Sometimes I leave it, just depends if it's going to get in my way. And okay, so I've got 2 more petals here, come all the way out to the end, and then around this guy, and then out to the end. Now you see, or you can hear probably, like I change the amount of speed that I'm doing sometimes. You know, it is hard to keep it 100% consistent, so I don't worry about that. I just try to match my hands to what's going on. You can also do automatic, you know, if your machine has it, where the machine just runs. I have a start and stop button down here that does that, but I prefer to, I've done this so long this way that I prefer to do it this way. For the leaves, what I did for this one and this one, okay, this one here and then one other one, is that when I came along, I just did a squiggle in the center and then kept going around the edge of the leaf when I was outlining. But I didn't think of that until after I'd done this first one. So let's just come and do a couple stitches in place, and then we get this first one done. And now I'm not going to waste being here because I've already got this area that needs quilted out here. So I will go and just scoot along and run right out into the background, and now I can keep going. So I'm not going to waste and stop and start again. I will just go ahead and work this way. Let's take a look at the overall plan now of what I have to complete. So first of all, I went in and I outlined everything around what, the stems, each flower. As you can see, the stems around the leaves. I outlined around the basket, inside the basket, handle. And so that was the first thing I did. Then after that, I went and just did a wave stitch with Freemotion all across the basket, and then I came and did this piece here, and went down and did here and then here. So this has just got tacked down. Now I'm doing the Freemotion in the background that I just showed you. After that, I will go over to these edge. I've also done this. I've also done a little wave all along this little light inner border. Now I originally said that I didn't think I would do the red. I would just leave them pop, and I'm still debating that. So in order to make that happen, I will, let's go in a little closer. So to do this scalloped edge, a little scallop, if I want to keep all of these raised and not quilted, which I'm not sure 100% I'm going to do that, but if I did, I would want the white to be pressed down. So I would want to outline right along the edge of the red in the white area and then quilt heavily in the white area. Then I would also quilt a line along this green to keep that flat. This green, I will probably do the swirls again out here with a green thread. Then I'll decide if those scallops need some quilting in them. And if they do, I'll probably just do something simple. Just come up like this right in the middle and go along. So now you know my plan for this and how I handle things. I do very simple Freemotion quilting. I decided years ago that for me it was easier to have like a go-to set of things that I do, which is what I show you in my book on machine quilting. And then if I want fancier stuff, I hire people who that is their job and they figure it out, and then I do other work while they're quilting my quilt. So this one is so easy to do, so fun, very small, so it's good if you have not done a lot of free motion. That size quilt is perfect for you to work with. All right, my friends, I hope you will show some bee quilts, bee fabric or bees on them. I can't wait to see over at my group Quilt Along with Pat Sloan at Facebook, which is open to everybody. So anybody can come. You come as a visitor or you can join. So I love you. Mwah. See you online.